Hi friends, MD Vegan. I make a new pea soup. That's one of my favorite recipes ever. One of my first ones. And it's a thing I would say I invented. I mean that was 9 years ago or so. One of the first recipes, it calls 5-minute pea soup. I've seen the similar recipes on many occasions, other chefs, but I was the first one to do that. Show me one who has done it earlier. So the 5-minute pea soup is very simple. There are 1,000 variations. Let's say 10, sorry. But I have made it with many different seasonings and spices and other ingredients. So to make a pea soup creamy, I use a cashew and a avocado in this case. Half and a small avocado. Yeah, I can use that. It's nice for the soup. Yeah. And a small handful of cashews, not even half a cup. Yeah. So more or less of these, but that makes the soup creamy and thicker and softer. The additional fat from the cashews and avocado carries the wonderful flavors. The protein comes from the peas. I love these sweet peas. They are frozen, yeah. So if you have fresh, you can use that. But the frozen have another quality too. They are nice. You can make a hot pea soup with the right amount of temperature degree with cooking boiling water, almost boiling water. And I show you in a moment how that works, and it's still raw. It doesn't go over 42% if you care for that. Yeah. I mean, frozen peas most likely have been blanched anyway, so that means they have been put into hot water, boiling water for a second or so, just to keep them fresh, and the heat doesn't go inside a lot. So I would say that is almost raw. Yeah, but really it is for the health purposes, has nothing to do with any problem. Yeah, but if you want to have it really raw, you have to have the fresh peas, and of course then you would vary a little bit the recipe. You wouldn't take hot water, you would take cold water, but basically the same. Maybe you have to change a little bit the seasoning because the frozen peas have a slightly different flavor. But you will find out, that's very easy, that's not a biggie. Yeah. So I have frozen ones, and they're very inexpensive. The fresh ones are much more expensive. Yeah. Frozen ones are very inexpensive, available all over the year, and I like the very quick and easy food. If it's fresh, and it's almost fresh. So peas, cashews, and avocado to begin. And now, the seasoning is the thing that is different today. I use celery and onion. And that's interesting. Celery is in traditional cooking, they use celery for soups to make a broth. Celery is always in there because it is a little bit salty. There is no salt, but potassium. There's also salty flavor. You can grind these or dry these, grind these, and then you have ground dried celery, and that is like a salt. It's celery salt, called celery salt, because of the potassium. It's not like the salt you usually use on a table. It's a really different one, but it tastes salty. Yeah? And that kind of salt, of course, is super healthy. And it is a very weak salt flavor, but it is a salt flavor. And there are a lot of other green flavors in the celery that makes it super healthy. And you can use that also as a seasoning in raw food. I try that in juices. Give the juices a delicious smoky earth flavor. It's really wonderful. It makes such a nice change, a transformation of the original flavor. It makes it really nice. You can try that. So a little bit of celery here. I have 2 or so stalks and a half an onion, a small half onion, maybe a quarter one. Yeah. That's onion and celery. I would say it's the classical seasoning. The base of a broth or so is these kind of flavors, onion-like flavors. Like leeks or so they use usually. You can also have a little of onion, that kind of thing. Onion is nice for blending it with peas. So that I use that usually onion. But the celery, I think I used the first time. I'm going to try it because I learned that from juicing. In the juicing, I found that celery is such a wonderful smoky flavor with other juices like beet juices, and so it's really nice. Makes a big difference and really nice one. You got to try that. So I try it now with the pea soup, and the classical combination with these kind of flavors, onion and celery, is pepper and salt. Yeah, have a teaspoon of each here. Yeah, peppercorns or pepper as you wish. Yeah, and that's all I have. Yeah, and I already have in mind the next recipes based on the celery thing. I could use maybe parsley or marjoram or so. Let's see. But now I make the pea soup with just celery flavor. The onion is always in, but the celery is now what I want to know. I want to know how the celery plays out in this soup. As I said again, celery is in the classic traditional kitchen. They use celery always for making a broth or soups or sauces or so a little bit heartier. Yeah? So I'll try that now with the raw food. Let's see if it works. Yeah? 2 or so stalks of celery, pepper and salt, teaspoon each. And now I show you the trick with the hot boiling water. This boiling is not boiling, it has been boiled. It has been boiling for some time ago. Now it's cooled down a little bit. And I found if you have here the peas in the blender and I pour the water on top of it, you see the water comes up over the peas about 1 centimeter or so. You see? It's 1 centimeter or 2. Not even 1 inch. And that is the right amount of water to give the perfect texture and the perfect temperature at the same time with the frozen peas. Let's see. Blender dance to my celery pea soup. It looks nice from outside. The temperature is so nice. It's perfect. Not too hot, not too cold. Texture also. Yeah, it looks like a soup. The texture is very important for the soup. The soup has to be runny and not too thick, but not too runny. Depends on the soup. A clear broth or so has to be runny, of course, but these creamy soups, they shouldn't be too thick. And oftentimes, if you make a soup cooking, oftentimes happens that you make the soup and all of a sudden, oops, too thick. And then you have to add water, then it gets too thin, and the texture is really an issue with the soup because the perfect flavor of the soup, you get that when you have less water, and usually the ingredients, they're really losing their flavor into the soup. And when you add water to make it, to adjust the texture, you lose that special nice flavor you want. So the texture is most important for the soup. One of the most important qualities. So here the texture is pretty nice. It's maybe a little bit creamy, but I wouldn't care. It is still nice. Let me taste it. I can always add a little bit of water and blend one more time because the cashews, I usually do a second blending when they are not soaked because the second blending makes it really creamy, and for that I could do a second blending. But let's taste it if everything else is right, and especially the celery. What does it taste like? Let's see. Wow. Wow. It needs a second blending, but I can already say it's a wonderful flavor. All the flavors here are coming together in one flavor. The nice from the pepper. It's a nice warming, hot flavor from the pepper. It's just the right amount. It could have a little bit more salt, but when they have the right amount of salt, it also turns into hot flavor. The hot flavor is enhanced by the salt. It can be. If you go too much salt, all of a sudden that breaks, the tip breaks and it tastes salty. That is not good. Salt has to be perfect amount. And right now it's nice, but I could add some more water to get the texture right. And that might mean a little bit more salt, but let's wait. I just give a little bit more water. blend one more time to get the perfect texture, to break down the cashews, and then I taste it again. Let's see, blender dance number 2. I really am happy about the celery, that I tried that. I thought about that before. I thought, wow, in the juices, the celery is such a nice combo. You know, the celery juices, people like to drink celery juice, pure celery juice. They love it, and it's so healthy. I read a study about it. It is healthy, it is true. But honestly, I don't like the flavor so much. I thought, all the high-bought celery juices. And then I tried a little bit of celery in the juice additionally. And then I thought, wow, that is the flavor I want. Celery in classical kitchen has always been a seasoning. It has never been a vegetable you use as a main part, as far as I can see, and that makes sense to me. That is the right flavor. But don't take me wrong. You know, you can like your celery juice no matter what. Yeah, don't be confused by myself. What I say, just for myself, you know, I like the celery a lot as a seasoning. It's so nice. Oh yeah, the texture is now right the way. I show you in a moment. Looks perfect. Let me taste it. No more salt. Now it's wonderful. I quickly show you in a glass what it looks like. I will put it in a bowl, but for you to see here, just show you this beautiful texture. And you see the steam here. It's at the right temperature. It's not too hot, and it's really wonderful. I'm so glad I tried it. I'm maybe decorating it with a little bit of some small pieces or cubes or triangles of avocado. Yeah, just a little, maybe some salt crystals from the fleur de sel on top. You know the way I always decorate soups. But that's another story. You'll see it on the photo if you want to look at the thumbnail or on my Facebook page. So, if you like my video, like it, subscribe and be vegan on YouTube. Very welcome. And have another recipe every single day. And you can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.